Hi, this is Allison, host of the I Hate Trolleys podcast by Eternal Recurrence. Thanks for tuning in to episode 2. As a quick disclaimer, this podcast is not focused on teaching philosophy, but rather on helping get our listeners through the door on what philosophy can be through a quick, diluted taste of it in a very digestible and approachable manner. As a ground rule, we do not assume that our audience knows anything about any of this. In episode 2, I, along with my guest of the week, my sibling Hill, take on the idea of definitions and what it means to have them. Starting with a thought experiment where we try to define soups, salads, and sandwiches, we soon find out that salads are much more complicated than they appear. At around the 50-minute mark, we start to branch out and focus on larger, real-world applications by talking about literature, poetry, gender, and the philosophy field as a whole. As this episode was originally recorded as the pilot episode, we hope that you excuse any knickknacks here and there. Nevertheless, thanks for tuning in once again to this podcast. I hope you enjoy. I also don't have a jingle right now, so
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to have, like, a jingle. Sometimes it's just, Good Mythical Morning has a jingle.
I have a good jingle. We can make a little jingle.
But they're also, like, one of the best out there, though.
I think we should just introduce ourselves.
Okay, cool. You start.
My name is Allison Mack. I am a 17-year-old who goes to Havergal College High School in Toronto, Ontario, and I am a aspiring philosophy student.
I mean, you're technically already a philosophy student. Like, you're doing it in school, right?
I guess one is always a philosophy student.
Yeah, we could get all philosophical about that.
What about you?
My name is Hill Mack. I am Allison's older sibling. I'm going to Northeastern right now, so I'm in Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm like 12 hours behind you.
Yeah, I am currently located in Singapore. It's 10:36 p.m. on a Monday. It is 10:36 a.m. for you on a Monday.
Yeah, on a Monday.
So this is a little janky, but
what a way to start the week. I was gonna say you spent your whole day in Singapore. There must have been something that you're doing over there.
I got noodles for lunch. They were really good noodles. Went out for dinner. But the time in between, I watched half of a horror movie. That was it.
Oh,
that was my
what
day.
Horror movie?
Incantation. It's like this. I think it's a Taiwanese horror movie on Netflix. It's looking
cool.
pretty good, like from what I've seen.
I don't think I know that one.
Maybe that can be my like movie recommendation of the podcast. I can start doing that. Look at me making things on the fly. Okay, what is our topic today? Definitions. Questioning definitions.
Questioning definitions. Yeah, we're gonna do a thought experiment. It's actually kind of old. I think it's from like 2010, something like that. It's the salad sandwich. Is it soup salad sandwich theory?
Oh, I actually have not heard about this because you recommended this to me.
Yes, I did. So it comes from this. Ooh, can you hear that?
They're coming after you, dude. They're coming after you. I didn't know this was like a proper thing. I thought this was something you just sort of shot out into the air. But it's
no. It was some old internet joke where you can start a lot of arguments with people by asking them like which category foods fall into and like what are the parameters for what a soup is, what a salad is, and what a sandwich is.
Okay.
So I guess at this point we're like you're talking about things like ingredients, you're talking about like the structure of the thing.
Mm-hmm. I think let's start with salad. At its most innate, what is a salad? When like my first reaction to that is just straight lettuce. Bare lettuce. Naked lettuce, sort of like chopped up horribly and just thrown haphazardly into a bowl. Naked lettuce.
So do salads have to have lettuce then?
I wouldn't say so, right? You can have like fruit salads.
Salad. Exactly.
Sorry. Okay.
I think that should be the jingle. I mean, you might get like a copyright claim, but
oh, god damn it, you're right. I think if I make it like
it also might have nothing to do with trolleys, like it would just be for this episode. You could have a different jingle for each episode.
Okay. Okay, back to the point. Okay. Do you think, see, when I'm thinking of my bare romaine lettuce salad question mark, do you think it needs like a sauce, like any condiments like on top of it? Does there need to be a liquid in a salad?
See, okay, this is like where all of the dissent sort of comes out, right? You discover like how radical your friends are. I'm somebody who tends to be quite radical with these things. So anything like with like, does it have to have does it have to have a dressing? I'll be like, no. Your salad can be butt naked and it can still be a salad.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about the other direction? Could you have like what is the point where it starts to become a soup or like a cereal versus a salad? Like, is it when there's so much dressing or so much liquid that your base starts to be suspended in liquid? You know? Like, is the point
like
where
that's sort of thing I think like there has to be an overlap, right? Like I don't think these things are entirely like separated into categories. There's things that can be both soups and salads, I think.
what would you consider both a soup and a salad?
Something that I consider both a soup and a salad. Um, I'm pretty sure like okay, when it comes to salad,
Mm-hmm.
I think the term they use, I'm a bit of like an ingredient rebel, but I'm more of like a structure,
Okay.
like it has to have some kind of like structure. Like I think there has to be distinct objects for several distinct objects within
Several.
like yeah, there has to be several. I don't know how many yet. We can get into that.
So, are you calling my bare romaine lettuce with one ingredient not a salad?
No, I'm not because you said you chopped up the romaine, right?
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Sorry, misinterpreted. Yes, continue.
Um, so then that for me means that like a soup with like lots of chunks, like something like a stew could be a salad because it's got lots of parts.
D- Now I'm thinking about how big the parts have to be. Like if you have like a clam chowder,
Right.
which is just like little itty bitty parts, is that a
No,
salad?
wait, clam chowders are chunky. What are you talking about?
Pardon?
Clam, clam chowder is chunky, is it not?
Yeah, but it's like I feel isn't a clam chowder like corns and little bits of like clam and they're like tiny put into like a base?
Sure.
I feel
Sure.
like I
I don't
don't
know.
mix.
I think I would argue there are soups with like even smaller parts that would make a better example for you.
What about like that like Cantonese corn soup?
Yeah, that could be it. That could be another good one.
Because those corns are very small, right? Do you think they have to be like
Yeah.
larger pieces to be a salad? And then in that sense, like the base would be the sauce of the salad. But then your salad pieces, the corn, is also being suspended in a liquid. At that point, is it not a salad if it's like suspended in a liquid? That's like my first
Right. So you're saying that there
instinct.
has to be some kind of like a ratio of liquid to solids, and if like there's too much liquid, it's no longer a salad, it becomes a soup.
A soup or like a cereal. Yeah.
Okay, okay, I see. I'm kind of interested in seeing what the difference between soup and cereal is, because for me, like all cereals are soups. Well, then actually, no, because do cereals have to have like a liquid for them to be a cereal? Like is granola a cereal? Granola
I feel
without
like
like
if
any.
I just pour a bunch of Cheerios into a bowl, you're not gonna be like, that's not a that's
That's
not a
very true.
cereal. That's still a cereal, even if there's no
That's
liquid,
true.
right?
Yeah. So does a cereal have to have like immediately when I think cereal, I think grains. I like how we're just like going through all of
Yeah,
these things. We haven't actually
does a
decided
cereal
anything.
have to be like starchy?
Like, does it have to have gluten? You mean?
Yes.
But then I guess like you could
I'm sure
have.
there's
Is
like
there something?
gluten-free cereals, right?
Yeah. So I guess it's more about like the texture. Yeah, it has to be starchy.
The texture. That's interesting. Okay, maybe there's like a temperature difference in like soup and cereal.
Oh, interesting.
But I feel like if you warm up a cereal, I don't know who the hell would warm up cereal and then eat it. But if you warm up cereal, right, just like a bowl of milk with Cheerios, that's still a cereal.
Well, you could have like what about porridge or oatmeal? Is that cereal or is that soup? Like I feel like those are things that sit right in the middle between like soup and cereal. And this kind of goes along your line of thought of like it's about temperature.
Do you think maybe like a cold porridge would be a cereal and then a hot porridge would be a soup?
I think a hot porridge would be a stew.
A stew?
Yeah.
What the fuck is a stew?
I had this conversation a couple of weeks ago with somebody. Like, what is the difference between like a soup and a stew? We kind of came to the conclusion that like a stew has to be like you eat it more than you drink it. So there's like lots and lots and lots of chunks.
Oh, here's one. Mac and cheese.
Oh.
Is that
right? Because that's starchy.
Yeah, is that like a cereal? Or like a soup? If you have like really some people include a lot of milk in their mac and cheese, right? You make like a Kraft dinner, they ask you to put milk in it.
Yeah.
You put a lot of milk in it. At that point, does it become like a stew? A cereal? A salad? If it's like really dry.
It's like really, really, really dry. I kind of think if you added like somehow, I don't know, I feel like if you added, I don't know why you would put nuts in mac and cheese. I think I'm thinking of like breadcrumbs.
Where do nuts come from? Okay, continue.
I don't know. Sometimes you have nuts in a salad.
Sometimes you do have nuts in a salad. People do not often have nuts in mac and cheese. Do you have nuts in your mac and cheese?
I could see it working. Okay, you know what? It's because I'm about to move out. So I've been just trying like my best to get rid of as much food as possible, and I have just like a bag of pecans or pecans.
Pecans.
Pecans?
Pecans. Pecans.
Right, sure.
Pecans.
I always thought it was pecans, and then I started saying pecans because other people are saying pecans.
Pecan.
Yeah.
I
know one of the ways of saying it is Canadian. I don't know which one.
Okay. Back to our.
I've just been like putting it on everything, and it's made me like. There's some really good things you can do with pecans. Is all I'm saying. With your food. Okay, I have like a couple of examples of like things that I think you would find interesting for like where we would put them. Do you think a pomegranate is a salad?
See, if you put like pomegranates in a bowl and you were like, "This is a pomegranate salad," I'd be like, "Hell yeah, it is." But if you just like show me a bowl of pomegranates, my first reaction is never gonna be a salad.
Why?
Because it's a bowl of pomegranates.
Like, okay, if you had like a bowl of pomegranates, right? It's just the pomegranate seeds.
Maybe what defines a salad is what your initial reaction to it is. Maybe this like varies. There's not like a innate thing of what a salad is. It just varies person to person what you think a salad is. It's very like.
Well, okay, if we're talking innate, like this immediately makes me. Do you remember Plato's theory of forms?
Yeah. How could I forget?
Like, is there like an ultimate salad?
An ultimate salad.
Form of salad.
Personally, I think my bare naked romaine lettuce salad would be the ultimate form of salad. I don't know about you.
Like I guess so. Because immediately when people think salad, most of the time it's green.
Green?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What if you take like a random person from the countryside that only eats fruits? They never ever eat romaine lettuce, and you're like, "What's a salad?" And they're like, "I only eat fruits."
I would think.
What about that?
Would they have heard of salad? Or would they have just like a totally different definition of salad?
See, here's the thing. This also like this makes me think of like people who vary by location, right? When you back to like the stew and the soup thing, your reaction to the soup and stew is how much you have to eat it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my initial thought when it comes to it is a soup is like an Eastern thing, and a stew is more of a Western thing.
Okay, interesting.
And also, this brings me back to like not brings me back, but in regards to the salad point, a lot of my friends who are immigrants from China. I had a similar conversation with them of like salads. We're just talking about salads in general, and they were like, when we first came to like Canada and we first like came to North America and we saw salads, our first reaction was not to just eat the lettuce out of the bowl, because in China, they would use these like lettuce wrappers. They would use the lettuce as like a wrap. They did not look at the salad and they were like, that's a salad. They looked at it as like a wrap.
Yeah.
Right? And so it also varies by location. So what is like a Plato's what is it? The most innate salad, the most perfect salad would vary by location and by person. Maybe this lady in the countryside, to them it's a fruit salad. To us, it's our bare naked romaine lettuce.
I don't remember if Plato says anything about like if the ultimate idea, for example, like the saladness of the salad has to be something that is collective, or if it's like every individual's idea of saladness.
I would like to think that it's like an individual thing.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like for example with with what you said about it varying by location. If you grab two people from opposite ends of the world, like their idea of saladness is going to be totally different. You're not going to be able to.
And that also applies in regards to like almost literally anything, right?
Yeah. I think we should come up with a list of requirements for something to be a salad or not a salad. Okay, let's get back to the pomegranate, right? So, if
God damn it. Okay, fine.
First of all, like, when I think of like salad, the first image that comes to my mind is like there's a bowl of some kind and there's some greens on the inside. Let's say, just for the purpose of this, it's like romaine, right? Just cut up romaine. So there's like the leafy green vegetable, and it's cut up in like relatively bite-sized chunks, very small chunks, basically.
Yeah.
Did I mention the bowl yet? I lost my train of thought.
Is the bowl necessary?
That's what I'm saying. Like it has to be contained within something. I guess one of the other questions you could ask is, can you also eat the container? Is that something that's relevant to ask about?
Wow. Did not expect it to go in that direction. I thought you were going to talk about like lack of container, not the ability to eat it. Cuz like I feel like I could just like
this is making me think of the lettuce wraps, right? Like when we go to I can't remember what the dish is called, but we have like lettuce wraps when we go to Chinese restaurants.
Yeah. You eat like the mincemeat and like the lettuce, you roll it up and you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like we can get back to that, but if we're considering whether that's a salad or not, is like the lettuce itself, the lettuce wrap, being considered when we're talking about whether that's a salad, or is it just the ingredients that you put within the lettuce?
I feel like at that point, right? It's a wrap. It's not a salad. It's a wrap.
I guess then I'm asking, is there a way in which a salad can also be a wrap and a wrap can also be a salad? Wait, what is the saladness of the wrap that makes it, I guess, possible to be considered like as a salad?
I feel like it's the leafy green aspect.
Right. Like I'm thinking, is a Caesar salad wrap still a salad? Oh wait, this is making me think.
That's good. I feel like that's both wrap and salad.
See, okay, because I'm kind of a structure purist. I think it's no longer a salad, and this is making me realize, like, for me, like the method of delivery for like how the food gets from, I don't know, serving area to mouth is really important for considering whether something's a salad. So because it's within like this starchy wrap, it's no longer a salad for me.
But maybe you can consider excuse me, you can consider the starchy wrap, the bowl. Right? Open up the starchy wrap a little bit. Right? Now it's not like wrapped 360. There's an opening to it. That's my bowl.
I don't think so. Because for me, like you're still okay, you have the wrap. Even if you open it up a little bit, you still have to like eat the like you have to munch the whole thing.
I don't have to eat the wrap.
If you were taking a fork and you were like holding the wrap and like eating it like
Absolutely.
this, then I would say it's salad.
Okay. So it's also the method. Yeah, it's the method in which you eat it. But also, is it like the method of I feel like you could like change anything into a salad, right? Someone could deliver you something, and you could just be like, I'm gonna tear it apart and make it into a salad. So maybe we should talk about what it is when it's like delivered to you, and you don't mess around with it.
Okay, I'm starting to realize I need to start making a laundry list of items to go through. So we're talking about method of delivery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vegetables ?
I also ask myself that every day. Vegetables ? Yeah.
You have to get a balanced diet. You need to make sure you get all the food groups. Okay, so method of delivery: vegetables, colors.
Colors.
Yeah, like whether it because most of the time when people think salad, it's green.
Potato salad, not green.
Yeah, but that's something we can get through, right?
Okay.
Vegetables, I guess number of ingredients.
I feel like there's also the case where someone is they go fruit salad, potato salad.
Yeah.
Then there's a condition added on top of it, right? Are we talking like lack of conditions? Like just
we're talking about the conditions themselves, I think.
Okay.
Okay, this is one that I've yet to ask anybody about. So we were talking about like the function of the bowl, right? Or whether or not you can eat the bowl. What about the salad itself? Like, is a bowl of plastic fruits a salad?
A bowl of plastic fruit. Uncut styrofoam fruit.
Well, yeah, we can go through like the levels of whether or not the plastic fruit is cut.
Everything is edible if you try hard enough. That's a salad.
That's for sure, yeah.
You can throw some of your expensive...
Oh, is a bowl of gravel a salad then?
It's a gravel salad. There's the condition, right?
What about it is salady enough for it to be a salad? A gravel salad. Or we can get like even more into this and be like, when people say word salad, is that the same kind of salad as... Okay, this is a bit stupid.
I have never heard of that phrase. Can you...
Word salad?
Can you elaborate? What? Word salad?
Word salad is like when... It might even be... Is this a psychology term? I'm not sure. But like, it's like when you jumble your words really badly, or when something just doesn't mean anything.
Sometimes I feel like a word salad.
Yeah, me too. It's a confused or unintelligible mixture of seemingly random words and phrases, specifically in psychiatry. There we go. As a form of speech indicative of advanced schizophrenia. Maybe you should get that checked out, bro.
Oh dear. There's no bowl. There's no bowl for my word salad. Where is my word salad being held? In my mouth. Is my mouth a bowl?
Yeah.
Is my mouth a bowl? I guess if I like open it wide enough, it's a bowl, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's a container for things.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Word salad is a salad.
Okay, well, just based on the definition that we just read then, a salad has to have distinct parts. Like and I guess like in there you have to be able to find like what makes something a distinct part. Like if the parts are too small that we can't tell, like as humans, given like our range of senses, like that the parts are distinct, it can't be a salad anymore.
Like if a salad is
like for example, like if you were just like making one long continuous noise with your voice, like that's not a word salad anymore.
Yeah.
Because the salady part, the saladness is the distinctness.
Do you think they're also parts. It's like you said it's like jumbled words, right? So the words have to be mixed, right? I guess it's like they're thrown haphazardly into my mouth.
Yeah.
So for a physical salad, would it have to be like tossed?
Yeah, this is one of the things that the salad theory website was talking about. Like they were talking about like to what extent do the things have to be mixed? And that was where like the math came in, I guess. I don't know how you do that, but it makes sense.
It also makes me think of salad versus sandwich. Okay?
Yeah.
Because I feel like how do I go about phrasing this? Let's say you have like a bunch of romaine lettuce, right? Thrown into our bowl.
Yeah.
Our romaine lettuce bowl. We're back to that, right?
Yeah.
But all the salad pieces are stacked on top of each other.
Okay.
Is that a sandwich? Or maybe a lasagna, because it's like one.
Whoa,
right?
okay. This is really radical.
It's like I feel like a sandwich has to have like two of the same piece on either end of it to squish whatever is in between it. But a lasagna is just like
Just be two of the same piece. Okay.
or same ingredient, I guess.
Okay.
On top and bottom and whatever the hell is in between.
Say if I went to the park and I had like a ham sandwich, right?
Okay.
Bread, ham, bread. Worst fucking sandwich you've ever seen.
Goddamn.
Well, okay, actually, depending on where you are in the world, that could be a really good sandwich or a really bad sandwich. But
I've seen these Italian TikToks.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Those? Oh my god. It's just they look like the driest goddamn sandwiches I've ever seen in my life, but they look so good. Okay. Okay, continue.
Okay, so I'm at the park. I've got a shitty ham sandwich. A seagull fucking flies in, steals like one of the pieces of bread because seagulls are fucking evil.
Yeah.
Is that still a sandwich?
No, it was originally a sandwich. That's also what we're talking about delivery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe intention. Maybe intention matters a lot. Are you trying to make a sandwich?
I guess I was trying to make a sandwich. I came to the park with the intention of eating a ham sandwich, so I made a sandwich.
And maybe that seagull violated your experience, but it was your intention that matters when you're creating the sandwich, right? You wanted it to be a sandwich. So maybe when I'm making my salad and all the romaine lettuce pieces happen to stack on each other, just out of sheer probability, it's not really a lasagna because my intention was to make a salad.
Right. But if you unintentionally make a salad and then realize later on that it is a salad.
Can you give me a situation in which,
that
might unfold, please? I'm having trouble picturing. I need a visualization of when this would happen.
Hey, anything is possible. You've seen everything everywhere all at once.
Fair enough. Okay.
All right.
So I'm holding this big ball of cabbage. This big ball of cabbage. And oh no, I've tripped. My cabbage flies through the air and falls and gets cut on my where would it get cut? My kitchen knives are propped up on my counter, standing upright. They're upright on my counter. And
have you seen, you know, Jan Håkon Eriksson?
Okay.
Have you seen this artist? He's like this dude that like, I promise this is related.
Yes, I have.
The dude, the banana guy.
Yeah, yes, I have.
He used to have like a knife sculpture where it was something like, I want to say about 100 knives, just like going this way. Like the points are pointing up to the sky, like on like a big wooden pallet.
Yeah, okay. I'm chilling out with this guy.
You're chilling with Jan.
I'm chilling out with this guy. I'm gnawing on my romaine lettuce. Oh no! I slipped on the banana that he was using for another art piece. And it flies through the air, my ball of cabbage, and it gets sliced through this. See, I've thrown it so hard, I've slipped so intensely that my cabbage has flown directly through these knives. And it's gotten cut through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's gone through the knives and it's all cut now. And like magic, it has landed on an empty bowl on the other side of the room.
Yeah, I'd consider that a salad, even if you weren't intending to make one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've discovered one instance in which you could accidentally make a salad.
I think it's different when if it accidentally happens versus if I'm trying to make something else, right? Like, what if I'm trying to make a sandwich and you're like, no, that's a salad? That's different than, like, me tripping over my own feet.
Okay, I have another example of how you could accidentally make a salad. You have a Caesar salad wrap. The same seagull steals the wrap part.
God damn it. Okay. My day is going so bad. I've been trying to eat my turkey sandwich and now my Caesar salad wrap. Okay, continue.
Now all you've got is the Caesar salad. But I guess like the intention originally, like if you were
the
making
original
the Caesar
intention
salad,
was not to make a salad. It's turned into
it was
a
to
salad.
make the wrap, but you have to
what we were
still make
talking
the
about
salad.
before. That's what we were talking about before.
Okay. I don't think have we made any progress? So okay, wait, intentionality.
Intentionality, I think, is what matters most to me.
What?
I think word salad.
There you go. Look, you just unintentionally made a salad.
Yes. Oh, good point. But I think intentionality is what matters most to me.
Okay.
Right?
So, can you expand on that? Like, tell me, like...
If I'm eating a pomegranate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm eating it to be a pomegranate. I'm not throwing it into a bowl. Or maybe I have thrown it into a bowl. I often do that when I eat my pomegranates. I peel them, put them in a bowl. But I'm just, like, eating pomegranates. But if I want it to be a pomegranate salad, and I prep it emotionally, physically, mentally to be a pomegranate salad, it's a pomegranate salad because I want it to be a pomegranate salad.
Okay. So you imbue it with the saladness, with your intention?
Yes.
With your intentionality?
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay, you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense because if we go back to the bowl of plastic fruits, or if we even go with like a plastic bowl of salad, like you know the like the food displays that are really popular at a lot of Asian restaurants, particularly like
the hyper realistic ones, sure.
Yeah, exactly. Those are only salads because we intentionally denote that they are salads.
Yes.
Like, there's nothing else about them that could make me personally go, like, that's a salad, because it's not really edible. It doesn't have any ingredients.
Well, I feel like I could work around that.
Those aren't the ingredients until I say that they are, even if they look like them.
Yeah. I feel like intentionality comes first.
Intentionality comes first. Okay, cool. So for something to be a salad, you have to intend for it to
be a salad, or you have to want it to be a salad. Maybe, do you think it can change what it is, like, while you're eating it? Like, I'm eating a bowl of cereal, and you're like, no, I want to be eating salad.
That's what I'm saying.
Salad now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, at one point, like, that's what I was trying to say with, like, can you expand on, like, the intentionality? Like, if you intend for it to be one thing and then later realize that it could be something else, at what point does it go from being the one thing to the other thing that you realized it could be?
When you want it to be.
Sure.
Yeah. Because why not?
Like, for example, like the Caesar salad wrap, right?
Sure.
At what point do you decide you are accepting that this is no longer the Caesar salad wrap that you dreamed of and, like, just the Caesar salad?
Just whenever it dawns on you. Or maybe you just don't accept it. Then it can still be a Caesar salad wrap that has just been violated by a seagull.
I guess I'm thinking, like, how important is it, like, your own personal definitions? Like, okay, if you're sitting totally alone at this park, and you've decided, like, this is still a Caesar salad wrap without the wrap, sure, maybe it's still a Caesar salad wrap because there's nobody else around. But if a second person, like, comes in, not a seagull, like a human person.
Yeah. I understood. Yeah, I got that. Got that.
we can talk about the person head of seagulls another time.
Yeah.
But
Okay, episode 2.
I
Okay.
want that on a t-shirt.
Continue.
You want to talk about the person head of seagulls with me?
No, I do
Anyway.
not. I really do not. Continue.
So, another person walks in and sees you eating your Caesar salad wrap, and they go, "Hey, that's a great Caesar salad."
Mm-hmm.
What happens?
Well, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nobody explodes. But I think, see, this is the part where it comes about deliverance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your first reaction to the thing, and how it's been delivered to you visually, right? See, for me, when I've just been violated by the seagull, and I've gone through this entire process, right?
Yeah.
I saw the original delivery as a wrap, and I've seen its transformation into a salad, which I haven't accepted. I reject that. It's still a wrap to me, albeit deformed. And this person comes along, and they see it, and it looks like a salad, right? But I know the process it went through. But to them, it's been delivered as a salad, right? The universe has delivered them this experience.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a salad. Not a wrap,
I see.
It's a salad.
Okay, so what it becomes is, like, okay, so for you, a collective definition seems to be less important than individual interpretation based on the deliverance of your experience. Delivery method, your experience of the experience.
Yes.
Okay, intentionality. Okay, so I'm going to put number 2 as individuality. Okay, method of delivery vegetables. This is probably like the most radical you can get with salad theory, in my opinion, because with this like intentionality and individuality, like anything can be a salad now.
You can be a salad.
Like,
but
I could be a salad.
I think.
Oh wait, no, this is interesting because technically I am, depending on like what your limits are for like the bowl part of the salad or the container
bowl,
part.
I think is your room, which you are in right now, and there's a door.
Oh, okay, right? Interesting. I was thinking of like
there's the opening.
Okay. So you're thinking, because I was thinking like skin, and like everything on the inside is the salad part.
Sure. My reaction to that is like comparing you to what I would deem like a regular salad. Back to my romaine lettuce bare naked salad. You would be like a piece of lettuce, right? If I compare you to a piece of lettuce, bear with me here. The skin would be like the skin of the romaine lettuce, and everything inside, like the chloroplasts or whatever, is comparable to like your digestive tract or whatever. Like a romaine lettuce piece has its like insides, right?
Yeah.
It's got its cells. It's dude, I dropped biology. Okay, I'm not even gonna try. All I remember is chloroplasts, and they're green. Big brain.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. I don't think of you as like, well, would you be like a singular salad piece, or would you be the salad itself? Maybe when you're, maybe within like if the skin is the bowl, you are the entire salad, because there's nothing else inside. But for the room to be the bowl, I would say you are a salad piece, and everything else in your room is a salad piece. Your bed, the clothes, you know.
Right. If I was in like a padded room, which I don't think is terribly difficult to imagine, would that still be a salad if the room was a bowl?
Why wouldn't it be?
Like, my question is how many pieces. I'm starting to think I need to scrap.
So like
intentionality and individuality, because this is I'm trying to create conflict because there's too few parameters for what a salad can be.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm just trying to stir the pot here.
Sorry, just back to the point where you're locked in a padded room.
Yeah.
I think the point where you start believing that you are a salad, which would explain a lot about these conditions, by the way. Right? But the intentionality, right? The moment you're like, I am a salad, then yeah, you're a salad. But when you're just existing in a room, not thinking about how you're existing as a salad, why would you be a salad? Unless anyone imposes that definition upon you.
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm thinking. You would be if you yourself do not think of yourself as a salad, and that's the only prerequisite for being a salad, then you wouldn't be one. But if you add the other prerequisite that somebody else has to recognize that you are a salad, or that is more important than your self-definition of salad, then you are a salad.
No, I don't think it matters if people think you are a salad or not. You are a salad if you think you are a salad.
This is sort of making me think, like, do you owe your definition of saladness from the way that other people might have interpreted salad before you, or next to you?
Or your like personal lived experience?
Sure.
Maybe
like, had it not been for them, would there be you? Like, this is something that I've been thinking about over like the past few days. Like,
are we transferring to our real world application? Are we transferring to our real world applications section?
This is getting a little bit more theoretical and contemplative, I think.
Okay, fair enough. Keep going. Sorry.
Like, this is sort of making me think. This is this concept I've been thinking about over the past couple of days about like how there is no self without the other. I haven't entirely grasped this concept yet.
Is this
but I think
if tree fall in forest, does tree really fall? Question mark.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry.
I think it's basically saying like your conception of self like has to in some part depend on the way that other people also conceive of you.
Can you expand on that?
I don't think so, because that's about as far as I can understand this.
Okay.
But I want to see if I can try and link this to the salad concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
If there's no self without the other, then your conception of salad does not exist had it not been for the conception of salad by others as well.
And I think also, like, when salad is a bit predefined for us, all right?
Yeah.
We've grown up. This is, like, also relating to what we were talking about before about, like, where you're located.
Like, it's predefined. All of the stuff about, like, intentionality and individuality is, like, great for considering things about salads, but at the same time, like, it makes, like, functionally, it makes this idea of salad, like, totally pointless and impossible to use because there are no parameters anymore. Those are kind of necessary.
Yeah, if you define everything for yourself, and nobody agrees with your definition, I guess it doesn't really.
Like, it's then, I guess, it sort of makes me think, like, just the nature of our existence requires that, like, if a definition only makes sense to you, it loses a bit of legitimacy.
Yeah.
Just because of the way that we exist.
I don't have much to, like, add on to that, yeah. Unless you're, like, I don't know, living alone in solitude, right? Then what the hell?
Yeah, I guess the point is, like, we're not.
Yeah.
So, like, it sort of makes me think, like, if you can do this with salad, imagine all of the other concepts you could apply this to.
I mean, you could. What's a peach?
It gets so much worse.
Yeah.
Okay, something that has been happening, like, over the course of the past few months, like, while I've been at school is, like, Northeastern likes to pride itself on being, like, this super innovative place, right? It's a co-op school, so what that means is like they're trying to incorporate like they're trying to blur the lines between like academic learning and workplace learning, and saying like, well, which one of those things do we give legitimacy? I was in like the archives at some point for like a research thing, and I was looking at like some of the old files from like when the school was still developing itself. Like this, I think this was around this. This was during the Great Depression. At a time where people were like looking for jobs and such, and the school was trying to figure out like, okay, we're supposed to help people find jobs moving forward. How do we do that? Do we give students academic credit for going on co-op?
Mm-hmm.
How do we legitimize one thing over the other? So there's a lot of conversations happening in the school to do with like genre. There's been some talk about like dissolving this idea of majors altogether, and like just making it so that like you pursue like categories. I have to look into it a little more to see like exactly the language.
No, I've been seeing that. Like I'm doing college applications right now, and people are like, what is it? Yeah, dissolving those ideas. There's like focuses and like yeah, just like whatever you're interested in, and not really any majors. They don't call it that. Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted. Continue.
That's fine. Yeah, that's actually pretty much it.
Okay. It also makes me think of, sorry, topic change, but like redefining things. Like, why can't I start to redefine what a salad is from what people before me thought it was?
I don't think it's so much like you can't do that. It's more like
who's gonna listen?
How do you do that in a way that is effective and productive?
Yeah.
Such that other people think, what the hell is going on? I think somebody's doing like donuts.
Outside?
Yeah.
You got like a tiny street outside. It's not like
I know, but it's either a couple of streets over. I don't know why they'd be doing this at like 11:30, but I don't know. Boston is funny.
Is a donut a salad? Like a car donut? There's no bowl.
I mean, I could think of it. I could think of one way it could be a salad.
Let me hear it.
You just do like enough donuts, to make like a. You have like your tire marks in like a circle.
Yeah.
And there's like a bit of gravel in the middle, and maybe like a plastic bag.
What?
I'm trying to think of how this could be a salad. Like you have your container, and you have your distinct parts.
What's the container?
Like the tire marks.
Oh, the tire marks are the container.
Yeah.
So it can be a 2D thing.
I mean, we could argue about whether or not that's 2D, but sure.
I mean,
like, is the drawing of a salad still a salad?
Intentionality, right? I drew a salad because I wanted it to be a salad. Wow. I feel like we've gotten absolutely nowhere.
Right? It's a totally useless conversation, and I think it's great.
Also because I don't think when people define things, especially such, like, unimportant things as salads, they're not looking to define it to the most specific, right? It's just some sort of word that you throw onto a generally accepted term to make life easier. What is the need to, in regards to things that aren't super important, like salads? I don't know when a salad would be a super life-changing thing, right? But I can imagine for most inanimate objects, like a very, very specific, detailed definition doesn't really matter.
No, not really. The function is still like just to be able to have like a shared set of noises so we know what we're referring to.
Monkey point.
Okay, here's one application. This is the way that I think about the difference between like prose and poetry, right? the function of structure and grammar within language and how we communicate and like whether or not that's important and how that either helps us or like prevents us from saying something meaningful.
Why use many word when few word do trick?
Sure, yeah, exactly. So when you have prose, what that is like everybody has a shared set of structures. You use those structures in order to try and share some information between people to get them to try and understand your perspective.
Yeah.
Whereas for poetry, it does the opposite.
Yeah.
Like the function of language is to try and bring structure to the way that your thoughts play out.
Yeah.
Like to try and formalize it, to try and standardize it, basically.
Yeah.
Poetry does the opposite. It recognizes like, yeah, your thoughts are like, they resist standardization. It kind of tries to play into this idea that potentially like when you try and standardize those things, something is lost because you lose that element of individuality and self-definition.
I can get around that. We've talked about this before. I do not think in words. So word salads are very, very common for me.
Yeah, exactly. So one of my favorite examples is Emily Dickinson. She spent a significant portion of her life in seclusion. So her universe is basically the size of her bedroom. That doesn't necessarily mean that her universe is like necessarily smaller. It's just that when you read her poetry, you have to recontextualize and understand it in that way.
Yeah.
So the way that she writes doesn't follow like the same structures that we necessarily always use when we're writing prose. It doesn't necessarily follow grammatical rules. Like in fact, she does the exact opposite. And it's those things that make what she's trying to communicate a lot more profound, because instead of whereas like with prose, you reach out and you say, hey, here's this shared definition of structure that we both understand. I'm going to use that structure so that you understand what I'm saying. With poetry, you do the opposite. It's like, hey, you have to recontextualize language and its structures into how I've defined it to try and understand my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It changes the way that your like thoughts stack up. I cannot really remember I can't remember the original point I was trying to make with relating this.
Something about poetry and language, intentions.
Yeah, I can't remember how this has anything to do with salad.
Intentions of a salad.
Yeah, I guess so. Shared structure.
Yeah.
For me, this is like the core of definitions, right? It's about shared structure.
Mm-hmm.
You have to come into this contract where you, in exchange for like total specificity and ultimate salidness, you instead choose something that everybody can mostly understand.
Yeah.
So, for example, like intentionality, individuality, like considering everything a salad, you have to scrap that in exchange for having some parameters, even if you thought hard enough about it.
Yeah, because functionality matters.
Yeah.
At least within the bounds of our society.
Yeah.
Great. We've come full circle. We were going to have a philosopher of the day.
It was going to be Gorgias.
Gorgias. You know, I always thought it was... I don't know what I thought it was. I didn't think it was Gorgias.
Or Gorgias. Who did you think it was going to be? Was it going to be Plato?
No, I meant in terms of pronunciation.
Oh!
Plato would have been...
Yeah, I can never call it Gorgias. I like to call him Gorgeous just because, okay...
yeah, slay. What the hell?
You know that meme that was like making its rounds like really early into this year, like gorgeous girls.
Yeah.
So like, I have like this joke that's like like when you make enough like pop culture references and you're just like an amalgamation of like really obscure things.
Yeah.
you're a gorgeous girl because it's just too many definitions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Really dumb joke.
Huh. Oh,
It's
that's
really pretentious.
no, I like that. That's really funny. Hey, episode
Like you're
title.
like, you know, when you're like, oh, I'm a trainer and also Fleabag and also like Fiona Apple Femmes. Like that's a gorgeous
I
girl right
just
there.
realized that we had a big conversation. So I write for, well, not write that much anymore, but I'm chief editor for the Brain Scramble magazine, which is an amazing
Yeah.
magazine that one of my friends created. And within the brainstorm chat, we had a talk about how a lot of young teens, women in particular, in this day and age, really feel a need to force themselves under different categories and different definitions, constantly trying to exist as like Fleabag or as like it's 11:37 p.m. I'm really flexing my brain so hard right now. I'm gonna see if I can try and pull up these messages.
I know what you're trying to say though. Like the other thing I'm trying to say with the gorgeous thing is like the transience and somewhat sort of like the flimsiness of like what it means to be like a girl. It's just like a bunch of these like meaningless words in a way. Sometimes it feels vapid.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Virgin Suicides?
Oh yeah, I have.
Okay. I have thoughts on that movie. I don't love it too much, but this is something that's like somewhat relevant. This is also like all of this what you're saying about like people who grow up as other girls, like trying to feeling like that they have to choose specific categories for them to exist. This is like some of the stuff that I've been doing in my like gender studies stuff, right? What that's about is like trying to find self-definition in a world where like you don't have the power to actually self-define. So when you attach these categories to yourself, it's kind of like it makes a lot of sense like within like this like late stage capitalist world where like what you are defined by the things that you consume. You're trying to figure out how to define yourself as a product for consumption, which is necessarily like how you exist because of the fact that like you grew up as a girl.
Yeah. Thanks. Your existence as a type of girl has nothing to do with the girl you actually are, but everything to do with the person you want to be seen as.
Yeah.
No matter what I do as a female presenting person, I will always be placed in a box. Like the manic pixie dream girl, Sofia Coppola, Virgin Suicides.
There it is.
Right.
Basically, like, it's sort of this like very specific experience that's very difficult to try and make. Queer and people of color tend to understand this like much better than like I've tried to explain this to like particularly like cis straight men, like they don't cis straight white men.
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah. The way in which like you exist is all like predicated on these categories that like again like the article says like has nothing to do with like who you actually are, but at the same time like the only way you can figure out like who you are is dependent on also the existence of others and also like the tools and the definitions that you have at your disposal. So the only way to explore those things is by trying to reach into them.
Yeah.
Which feels like exploitative, and it feels exploitative is the best word that I can use for it because it's like the primary method that like you are perceived like by the world as a female presenting person is as something that can be consumed as a product or as a form of currency.
Yeah. we were talking a lot about what it means to be perceived as desirable as a female presenting person, and how it's really, really hard to try and even, like, I don't know, to be desirable is to be desired by men, right? And to try and escape that is just another trope.
It's just another way for you to be desirable, you mean?
Yeah, by men.
It's impossible to escape the fact that you are always going to be consumed.
Yeah.
I think, in part, that's kind of what the Virgin Suicides movie was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, very early on, AFAB people realized, like, not necessarily, like, consciously, but, like subconsciously, they realized, like, it's impossible for them to escape, like, the fact that they're always going to be products and objects. So in the movie, like,
this makes me think, we, in philosophy class in grade 10,
mm-hmm.
someone asked me, we were talking about, what is it? Simulation.
Yeah.
And sort of what it might mean to always be, like, observed, right? Like, what if someone's watching you at all times? What if this is a simulation? There's cameras on you at all times. And I was like, God damn, dude, I always feel that way. Like, I always feel like I'm being consumed. Even when I'm alone in my room, I'm thinking about how I'm being perceived. There is no existence for me outside of that as a female presenting person. None.
Yeah.
I always exist that way. I'm always thinking, even when I'm, like, lying in bed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Because the only way that, like, you've been told that you can be perceived is through, like,
the eyes of others and the eyes of men.
Yeah.
Right? Within media, literally anything, the only time... sorry, the Wi-Fi glitched a bit. Within media and within anything, within literature, the only time women have really been included has been through the eyes of others, I feel like. Or through the eyes of men, right? So then to try and exist outside of that does not exist. You do not exist outside of that, because that is how things are.
Yeah, those are the only tools that you have at your disposal. Everything it depends on the power structure that is in place.
Yeah.
Like the Virgin Suicides, like at the very end, there's a scene where there's this girl that has like a debutante ball.
Yeah.
Basically, like she's debuting herself as like a woman, right?
Yeah.
But that's like men saying like, okay, she is. We are defining her as a woman now.
Yeah.
And if you remember, spoiler alert, like, but also like it's literally in the name of the movie. Like when the rest of the sisters die, like near the end of the movie, the way I interpreted that was like that was their debutante ball. That was like the best way that they could take control of their existence, because they recognized that they were products. So their rebellion was basically doing product damage, but it's kind of depressing to see that like that's the most that they could be.
Yeah.
Like I have several problems with the way that the movie works.
We were also,
but this was one of the messages that came out of it.
We were also talking about how to be desired as a woman is always to be defined as something that is like very tragic. Right? Like was it beauty as like a woman is always very like, compared to beauty as a man, to me feels very sacrificial, always.
Oh yes, absolutely.
It's always about like I don't know, crying on bathroom floors and like ripping your hair or like sacrificing yourself for someone else. Like it's always very sad. And it's really hard to escape that. And trying to be
where's the reason for that is because motherhood is like defined as necessarily sacrificial. It doesn't have to be, but that's the way that it is defined.
Yeah. And then I always feel like, I don't know, like sometimes like I felt so much prettier when I was 13 and depressed as shit. Now that I feel like I'm living more for myself, I'm happier, I feel less desired.
That's because you have less value when you have a sense of self-definition. Because we live in like a patriarchal society, like I can't remember exactly how I worded this, and like I wrote this in an essay like a couple months ago, but like autonomy is always going to be seen as a flaw within a female person's body.
Yeah.
The more that you have, so the less valuable you are going to be.
Yeah. How did we get here from salads?
I think it makes a lot of sense. Like we're talking about definition. We're talking about self versus other. I think it's only natural that we get to a place where you're talking about autonomy as well. Like when you approached me with
I have the word.
Wanted to do this episode, and we were talking about like definitions. The first thing my mind jumped to was gender.
Yeah.
Because it's
Shudder.
This is okay. The analogy I made this was a separate essay, but there was an this was for like an introductory course. The analogy that you can sort of make about gender is that like even though it's not inherent, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's any less meaningful.
Yeah.
Like, okay, here's the two analogies that I made. So the first one is there's no actual. Okay, what is a tree? What is a tree? Do you know what a tree is? Like in your mind, you can see it, right?
Yeah.
There's no actual scientific definition for what a tree is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can look it up. Like literal like botanists will be like, yeah, there isn't. It's really just sort of like a large plant, but there's no really like set parameters for it. That doesn't necessarily mean that like societally and culturally like that definition doesn't have any meaning.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make tree any less substantial for not having like a concrete basis for what it is.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with, okay, this is like, you know the bell peppers that you see at the grocery store?
Yeah.
We separate them by like green pepper, like yellow pepper, red pepper, orange pepper, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time when we walk into like the grocery store, we think that those are separate species of pepper, but they're all actually like the same species.
Bell pepper.
Yeah, they're all bell peppers. But just for like the function of like the way that like our society has been constructed, whether it's like when we're cooking things, when we're buying things, when we're figuring out how to sell those bell peppers, it's necessary that we like
categorize,
that we like compartmentalize them in that way, just because of the way that the society has been set up.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we can make that mistake of thinking that they're separate species.
Yeah.
But even though it's not like real, even though it's not like real, that doesn't make it any less substantial and meaningful.
Yeah. So this is, oh, okay. I see what you mean by like this being in conversation with gender, sort of being the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I feel as gender inherently isn't really a real thing, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have.
Well, it's real in the same way that like.
What was it? I really like that comparison you made one time. It's as real as money is real, right?
Yes, exactly.
That was great.
Yeah. Gender is real the same way that money is real. It's real the same way that trees are real, and it's real the same way that bell peppers are different species.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like a bell pepper.
Yeah, I feel that. Do you know which bell pepper you would be? Like which species of bell pepper?
Yellow.
Yeah, I feel that for you.
You, green.
Yeah, I also feel like a green bell pepper. Like aesthetically, I don't like the way that they. I think other than like aesthetics, they're like
you'd
the
be
F
like
tier.
the you know, bell peppers have like at the bottom if you flip it upside down, it's either 3-piece or 4-piece.
Yeah.
You'd be like a 4-piece one, like an easy cuttable one. I hate the 3-piece ones. They're so hard to slice.
It's really good to know that I'm easily sliceable.
Like
I'll put that on my resume for when I apply for co-op.
Like my ball of cabbage. Like if I threw you across the room and you accidentally fell through an array of knives and into a bowl, they would be very uniform cuts. What, you're not gonna say thank you?
I mean, yeah, I can. I'll take it as a compliment.
My original intention was to have a philosopher of the day, or the episode, but whatever. It can be whatever I want it to be, right?
Well, I think Gorgias, like, it's really just like that one thing that he did. Like this is the only thing that I'm familiar with, like with his work. It's just that one thing he did with like the definitions and like, you can argue that nothing exists. If you just use the right words, like a lot of philosophy is just like, you can get like way too into it.
Yeah. Descartes is rolling.
That's not to say like that's not valuable, but it's just kind of fascinating how far you can get if you like. It's just kind of like supposed to show like when you try to get really, really, really into definitions, like very few things like
actually have substantial value or like actually have rigorous definitions. Yeah.
Like definitions like are a lot more meaningful when you resist trying to specify every single thing about them.
Yeah.
Like it's just like I just think that there needs to be more sociology. Everything should just be sociology.
Yeah. 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 What was I gonna say?
Like I think sociology is just like the next step from philosophy.
That's so real.
In my opinion.
Yeah, that's so real. What was it? Gorgias saying that essentially nothing really exists if you like look into it too much. In philosophy, Descartes really rolling in his grave. I hate him so much.
Yeah, me too. I'm not a fan of Descartes.
I hate him so much. I really want to grab his skinny little head and be like,
No, he has got like a skinny head. It's sort of like trapezoidal.
He would be the red bell pepper, wouldn't he?
I guess so. I think he would be
the seeds.
Yeah. He's so self-obsessed. Like he really thought he was being like so deep and cool when he was like when he was writing meditations.
I do not like Descartes. This is something that's gonna pop up every single episode, I'm sure.
Like what about it? Like what about him like annoys you? I know what about him like annoys me, but I want to hear your thoughts.
His first meditations, what he is known for, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'm
like for me, he was cool up until he started talking about God, and then he got way too excited, and he was like, "Wow, I'm so cool. God loves me, and therefore God exists."
It's really funny.
Like sure.
Mine was okay. So his first meditation, right? He sits in front of a fire.
Yeah.
And he thinks, what exists? First of all, who the hell does that? Okay? Moving on. Second, he goes, what exists? And then he goes, nothing but me. Because that's what I can prove, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when he goes through this meditation, he starts by seeking ground for his beliefs, right? He tries to find statements of which he can be absolutely certain. And he offers reason to doubt basically everything, right? He wants to offer doubt on anything that can be slightly questioned, which includes...
Yeah, I like that. I found that satisfying.
Wait. Which includes basic sense perceptions, right? Your sight... Like, if there's I think, what was it? He compares it to having, like, a demon trying to trick you. Your demon is, like, fake your sight. None of what you're looking at could be real, right? Everything you hear could be fake, right? Mm-hmm. Like, this chair I am sitting on, maybe it doesn't exist. And he even offers, like, to doubt simple analytical statements. Like, 2 + 3 is 5. Or you could go as far to dumb it down as 1 + 1 is 2. Or 1 = 1. Right? He even offers us to doubt things such as that. Such simple statements. Mm-hmm. Right? But here's the thing. If Descartes is able to doubt even the simplest logical statements or tautologies, how is he able to have such confidence in his own chains of reasoning? His arguments in his first meditations that lead him to that conclusion, I think, therefore I am, they're literally just that. Arguments, counter-arguments, examples. So he's accepting his own methods of reasoning and arguments as absolutely certain, which defeats the entire fucking purpose. 1 + 1 = 2, and 2 + 2 = 4 is a chain of reasoning. In the same way that his conclusions and his thought process in this first meditations is a chain of reasoning. Yeah. And he never doubts it.
Yes, exactly. Like, he just decides at some point that he's valid and then, like, starts going off about God. weird.
That's a complete contradiction to the entire thing he's trying to do.
Yeah.
He's trying to doubt everything, but he never doubts himself.
Yeah, like this is sort of like the reason why like I sort of went from like philosophy of school to like, look, no, sociology is where it's at.
Yeah.
Because like you can talk about like picking up an orange all you want, but like I don't see how it like this. I remember this was the issue like that I had a lot in high school. A lot of like my fellow students had issues with like back in high school when we were doing like philosophies, like applications, right?
Yeah. So
these are a lot more directly applicable than other things.
Yeah.
I remember like sometimes I would have like for like first year like seminar courses and stuff, and it was always like the dudes that were like in philosophy classes that would be wasting all of our goddamn time because they would be like saying things just like Descartes, like I think therefore I'm right, and they were just proud of the fact that they could like put an argument together. Like great, but that is totally useless.
Yeah.
To like real world applications.
No,
if you want to get philosophical, it better have something like it better like inform something else. It sort of makes me wonder, like, some people are sort of like, no, you have to divorce yourself from like the definitions that have been bred by the world, divorce yourself from like the physical, material aspects of the world to try and like make any grounds in like philosophy. No, I don't think that's possible. Like, you have to recognize that like you live within it in order to make any substantial
Yeah, bro,
claims.
I got bills to pay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like all of the time they're always like, no, we got to talk about like philosophy and like divorce ourselves from society. Like, no, you live in a society. Everything has to do with society.
Yeah.
Or like we'll be talking about like some kind of like if we had to watch like a movie for class. This literally just happened like about a week ago. People would be like, I don't get why we're talking about society so much. It's just a movie. And we'd be like, the movie is a reflection of the society.
Oh my god. Yeah, we live in a society. Fuck, I hate it. But yeah, we do. Cope.
Exactly, cope.
It gotta be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And like you gotta cope by trying to do something substantial with like the things that you're using your time for.
Yeah, so Andrea and I, who are the philosophy club heads for the upcoming school year, this is something we're trying really, really hard to implement. Or trying to focus our club on, which is real life applications of philosophy, or how we can see philosophy in daily life. How can it actually make a tangible impact in your life, or why would you ever try to consider taking philosophy or putting any mind to this field, right? Because I do still think the field has merit. It's just often so indigestible. There's a lack of grounding that it doesn't, for a lot of people, it doesn't make sense to like look into it, right? It feels so theoretical for a lot of people that it was like, what's the benefit of me taking this? Which is a lot of my friends who a lot of my friends who didn't take philosophy were like, or did it and decided not to continue pursuing it. It was just sort of like, this was great, but what does this change for me? Like,
yeah. I think it's two things. Like, this is how you get to a place where you recognize, like, why it's important. A, you live in a society. B, philosophy provides you with, like, the grounds and the structures with which, like, you can use to think about that society productively.
Yeah.
So this was, like, your reasoning for choosing definitions to be, like, the topic of your first episode, right?
Yep.
The first thing you have to do is like just start questioning and then figure out like how to do that in a productive manner, how to do that in a way that where like other people can also reach you without necessarily getting so heady that like it's like, what are you doing? This is not actually going to be applicable to day-to-day life or to like the problems that people are actually trying to solve within societies. Like, what are like the philosophical issues that are happening? Like, philosophy can be fun, right? You can talk about like whether pomegranates are salads, but at the same time, like you can get like further into it and say like, why does life feel like, how is the feeling of meaninglessness like gendered?
Yeah. Why do I feel like a salad?
Yeah.
Why am I forced to be a salad?
Yeah. Why does self-destruction feel like an act of self-actualization?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I feel like this about wraps it up. I feel we're how long are we at? We
An
are
hour and
at
a half, I think.
1 hour 36 minutes. About.
Yeah.
So we definitely reached our time. No issue. I'm happy that we were able to stretch it out. I was, that is more preferable to me for than the other way. Okay. Well, hey, you do the outro jingle.
No. All right. Thanks.